Hi and welcome to What's On, the Midlands entertainment page. I'm Chanel Shay Calvin, and on today's show I'll be joined by the singer who took the X Factor by storm. That's Johnny Robinson. But first, there is always something happening right here in the Midlands, from gigs to theatre shows to family days out and events. The list is endless, and we'll be providing you with that information throughout the show. You can see all the gigs and comedy shows that are happening this week at the bottom of your screen. And on the right are the events, theatre productions, concerts and days out. All of these are taking place within the region, and there is something for everyone. As I mentioned on previous shows, each month we'll be featuring reviewers talking about their particular passion. And in the second half of the show, I'll be joined by Rob Phillips, who'll be looking forward to the local theatre scene in the month to come. If you have an event that you want us to advertise, then we'd like to hear from you. And our contact details can be seen at the bottom of the screen. So I'm now joined by Johnny Robinson.
Hello, Chanel. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
So as I mentioned, you're not a stranger to TV at all because you appeared on the X Factor.
Yes, I certainly did.
Yeah, so what was that like?
It was very good. I mean, I didn't expect to get on the show. You know, I'd watched it for many years and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind having a go on that, you know, because I've always wanted to do singing, you know, be a singer or sing. I mean, when I left school at 16, many years ago, when I was at school, I thought, oh, you know, I just want to be a singer. I never thought of a career, you know, because I always thought that I'd leave school, I'll be a singer. And in the real world, it really ain't like that. So I ended up working in a nursing home. And then I auditioned for the X Factor later on in life. And then I finally got to where I wanted to do is like go around singing and entertaining. So that was good. So it was, yeah, it was a good experience, but very hard work.
Was it quite a lot of pressure to deal with?
It was, well, it wasn't, you know, but because I didn't expect, when you watch that programme, you don't realise what you're letting yourself in for.
Yeah.
You don't realise what comes with it.
That is true.
I mean, I just thought you'd go on there and sing and, you know, wave about or whatever you do. But no, it's a lot more. And the pressure, it's not pressure, but it's changing because you go out, everybody recognises you. And as was before, you just blend in.
Just your normal
but when you look as ugly as this, love, people recognise you everywhere. And they go, oh, it's Johnny, you never X Factor. And you think, oh, hello, like that. And then they still remember you. That's the strangest thing.
So what are the judges actually like then?
Well, they were lovely. No, they were nice. I mean, I was on with Gary Barlow, you know, because we did have an on-screen romance really going there. There was definitely there was some sexual chemistry going on there. In my eyes, well, I believe that. You know, I do believe that. No, I don't really, but we did have a good banter. And then obviously there was Louis Walsh, and I mean, he's a laugh anyway, isn't he? He's camp, isn't he? He's camp as a row of tents, and he's fabulous. And then we had Kelly Rowland and Talisa Kostovlos, whatever you call her, you know. So her as well. So yeah, but it was good fun and it was a great experience. And the judges were great. You know, you'd see Louis, they'd come along and say, well, you're singing this song this week, Johnny. I went, oh, I don't like that. I'm not doing that one, I'd go. But sometimes you did have no choice. You have to do what they want you to do. So you don't always get the chance to sing what you want to sing. You're a bit like a puppet, really, on a string, and you have to do this and you have to do that. So, but it's the experience, it's the exposure, and you have to use that opportunity as a platform, you know, and that's what it is. It's basically a platform, the X Factor, for whether you're a boy band or if you're a female singer or a girl band. It's just a platform.
Yeah, I think it's really a great one as well. Yeah.
And then as the next year comes along, there's another bunch of X Factor contestants that are going to go along, and it's just a conveyor belt, really.
Yeah, it is.
It's a conveyor belt.
So what's life been like since leaving the X Factor then?
Well, it's been great, you know, and I'm not very grateful for what it does bring for you, you know, because I'm doing this now and I've done lots of TV, and it's got me out. I've been doing shows all over the country. It's given me the opportunity to record and make songs and work with lots of talented people. And so it does open up a few doors, you know. So, but the hard work always starts when you come out of the X Factor. So
yeah,
you've got to keep going and going and going. And just basically, as an old saying, make hay while the sun shines.
That is true. Yeah. So going back to the fact that you said that obviously you're making songs and then like touring around, you've actually got a song coming out soon as well, don't you?
I have, yes. It's out on Friday.
The CD.
I mean,
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's it, yeah. This is the CD. It's called Eaten Alive. coming to a bargain bin near you very soon, wherever you are. And you can also use it, you know, if you get it for 50p or 10p, as a coffee coaster. But no, I'm very pleased with it. No, I am serious. Joking aside, I'm pleased with what we've done. Yeah, I am. But, you know, I've got no high expectations. I'm not Britney Spears. I'm not One Direction.
You never know. You really don't. Because I saw your video and you look a lot different, shall I say, than you do now to the video.
It's disgusting, isn't it? Men dressing as women. It's shocking.
So what made you do that then? What made you feel the need to...
Well, I thought, well, if, you know, all these babes these days, you've got, what, Destiny's Child, Girls Aloud. I thought, give me a wig and a bit of makeup, I can be like that. So I thought, no, I'm going to do it in drag for fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to. So, because I think it wouldn't have been as exciting and it wouldn't have made as much impact if it was just me with a pair of glasses and, you know, a suit. It just wouldn't have gone right, really. So I wanted to get Danny Oliver, who appears in the video with me. He's a Michael Jackson tribute.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's lovely. He's fantastic.
Really good.
Very good dancer. Dances just like him. He's got the moves like Michael Jackson. And I was trying to do it in my stilettos, but I mean, doing the moonwalk in them, my heels broke and I went flying. Yeah, it's very dangerous, so I wouldn't do the moonwalk in high heels.
So you don't recommend it at all then?
Oh, no. I get lumbago. No, yeah, I get lumbago, so I have to be careful. But yeah, but it was good fun, and he was great in the video, so we had a great fun doing it. And it was originally recorded by Diana Ross.
Oh, OK.
Yeah, Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, but he didn't appear in the video. And the Bee Gees wrote the song with Michael Jackson for Diana Ross. So I thought, as there's no video available on the internet...
You could take advantage and...
Yeah, I know it's not the real ones. I mean, I'm more Diana Floss, what with my teeth and dressed up. But, you know, I thought that's going to be the nearest you're ever going to get is the real ones doing it. So I thought, we'll do it for a bit of fun. And that's what it was. It's not to be taken seriously. It's a bit of... I call it theatrical pop.
I really enjoyed it, though. I genuinely did enjoy it.
Thank you very much. It's not bad, you know. It's all right. It's all right. But thank you very much for liking it anyway.
It's my pleasure.
I have to give her a tenner in a minute.
You can pay me later.
Paying her fivers every time.
So I'm right inside you've had a launch party in London. I'm
Yes.
assuming that took place in like a nightclub or some form of theatre or something, was it?
Oh, no, we had it in a dental clinic.
How did that work?
Well, I know. I thought, well, I don't want to be like everybody else. You know what I mean? Because most people, it's like all these big posh corporate businesses. And I mean, I'm as common as muck, love. I'm just as common as the next one. So I thought, well, do you know what? Why not have it in a dental clinic?
Why not?
Because I thought I can have a scrape and a polish at the same time. Because I've had my teeth done. So I thought, why have my scrape and polish done? I can do the launch because I've been so busy. So we just did it there. It was quite nice. And I did a goodie bag. You know, when all these big posh celebrities these days, I mean, it's all about, you know, marketing, big businesses, you know. Some of these goodie bags, love, I tell you, they're fantastic. You get, like, you know, real posh stuff in it. Well, I did a Well, I did a goodie bag, love, and what I done, because I had it at the dental clinic, I just give a little little sample of toothpaste, one of these and a toothbrush. And I thought, well, that would do them. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not Britney, love. That's the way I think.
And what I love about you is that you like to just stand out, you're just being yourself, you're keeping it real.
Yes.
I think it's really nice.
Well, I couldn't be anything else, love, really. I couldn't, no.
So is it true that we can actually listen to your single or you're performing it here in Birmingham as well?
I'm not. I don't think I'm performing it up here. You know, unless I'm doing the Pride up here this year. I'm not too sure yet. I've got to wait in here.
Pride.
Have you been?
Yeah, I have. It lands on my birthday weekend.
Oh, does it really? Oh, yeah, it's great. It is great. The Pride up here is fantastic. I did it about 4 years ago. With, I think, old Kerry Katona. She was on Atomic Kitten.
Oh, OK.
And, yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, it's a brilliant time up here.
So what are your future plans for you then? Have you got anything lined up?
Yeah, I've just finished doing some songs for the Eurovision album because we've just done, like, I've been asked to do a couple of songs for a Eurovision album that I've done. It's called the Eurovision Songbook. And I've just done that, and I've done 2 songs on that. I've done Euphoria by Lorraine, which I love, that's a good one. And I've done Dana, because I'm half Irish. So I thought I'd do Dana's All Kinds of Everything. So I've done that, All Kinds of Everything. And then there's some other guests on there, other artists, Tight Fit, Scooch, Angie Brown, they're on as well. And I've done that. And then I'm doing some tours, shows all around the country in bits and pieces. So, yeah, and then I'm finishing off the album, which we've done. So we've got a little album, which is ready nearly. Just finishing the last bits, doing some backing vocals. And now I've got to start shooting the video for the follow-up single from Eaten Alive, which we've done already. That's ready. And so now I just got to go and start doing the video for that. And I'll be doing that dressed as a woman as well. because this project's all centred around that, because I used to get dressed anyway as a sort of like, people say drag queen, you know, but that's like an old terminology.
Yeah.
When they say drag queen, I always think to myself, well, people think it's someone like miming in a gay pub to a Shirley Bassey record. Most people would think that, you know, not being, you know, but there's lots of talented drag queens out there. But I prefer the word female impersonator.
I like that.
Because I like to be different characters. Like, I'm going to do Kate Bush, then I'm going to do Sarah Brightman, Madonna or whatever. So I like to keep it like that.
That's nice. We've obviously got a lot coming up. We'll look out for your single, which is out on Friday as well.
Yes, the 23rd. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you for having me, Chanel.
Thank you. After the break, I'll be having a chat with Rob Phillips, and he'll be telling us about the local theatre scene in the month to come. Welcome back. Coming up, I'll be meeting our local theatre reviewer, Rob Phillips, who'll be looking at the local theatre scene. But before, there's a few ideas we've put together for things to do and see over the week to come.
There are a great deal of events taking place this week. At Birmingham Rep, you can see Feed the Beast. It's a funny look at the rocky relations between our press and politicians in a world of spin doctors and Leveson inquiries. It's by the award-winning writer of the highly acclaimed BBC programmes Sherlock and Doctor Who, and it's on until the 2nd of May. Moving over to Solihull, you can see Our House at the Solihull Arts Complex between Tuesday the 28th of April and Saturday the 2nd of May. Featuring many of the hits of the band Madness, it's packed with energy and humour and is a must for both Madness and musical theatre fans alike. Now, if you're feeling fit, why not join the Morrisons' Great Birmingham 10K Run? You can choose to run it, jog it or walk it. You'll have a choice of musical starting waves to select from, with music from the 70s, 80s, 90s and the noughties. The event promises to bring a party to the streets of Birmingham, and it all takes place on Sunday the 3rd of May. Now, young poets from schools throughout Worcestershire will be showcasing their work on stage in Redditch later this month during an event supported by the County Council. The Palace Theatre will be the venue for the final of the Middle Schools Poetry Slam on Tuesday the 28th of April at 7 p.m. So that's what's on. Have a great week.
So, welcome, Rob. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Delighted to be here.
So you're the chairman at, is it Highbury Theatre?
For my sins, yes I am.
So what does that role entail?
OK, we're Theatre in Sutton Coldfield is a theatre centre, which in fact we hire out to other groups as well. We also have a resident company within the theatre, which I'm chairman of. And we put on 7 plays. We've got a main house auditorium, then we have a studio theatre as well, where we put on sort of experimental stuff and that sort of thing. And I've been chairman there for, I think, about 15 years, only because nobody else wants to do it, basically.
So you're stuck with it.
I'm stuck with it, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and also direct and act and all that sort of stuff, and have done for a long time, really, yes. But I've enjoyed, because amateur theatre has such a tremendous amount to offer. It has to me, and certainly has to a lot of groups, particularly in the big centre region, where there are a lot of very good theatres, not just Highbury.
I've been trying to work out why theatre is so... Why aren't people accessing it? Why aren't people going to the theatre? What do you think the reason is for that?
I think there are so many distractions at the moment, obviously with TV and all the technology and the iPads and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But over the years, I think there's been this perception of amateur theatre being a bit second-class sort of thing, where in fact, as I'll prove in a minute when I just talk about some of the theatres in the region and what they're doing, they put on some extremely good standard, good quality plays and performances. So it's not always recognised as being as good as it is.
So on that note, is it OK if we just start taking a look of what is happening in the region?
Absolutely. Forgive me while I just read from here. Yeah, I'll obviously start with my theatre, Highbury. And this is all about imminent productions, Chanel. So it'll be productions that are going on literally next month in May. At Highbury, we have God of Carnage. And this, in fact, was on television over the weekend, an American version of the play. It's a really interesting play. I'll just briefly mention what it's all about. A comedy of manners without the manners comes to Highbury Theatre Centre this May, involving 2 sets of parents who meet up to discuss in a civilised manner when their sons are involved in a fight together. As the evening goes on, the parents soon become increasingly childish and the meeting soon develops into chaos. hilarious, would you believe, hilarious comedy by the brilliant Yasmina Reza arrives at an Auburn Theatre next month. That's the promo for Highbury. Next, Sutton Arts Theatre. Sutton Arts Theatre, literally down the road from where we are in Sutton Coldfield, and they're doing, God of Carnage, 12th to the 16th of May. Okay, you can go on and Google it and get onto Highbury Theatre Centre and all the information will be there. Sutton Arts Theatre, Neville's Island, which is all about middle-aged, middle management people stranded in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Oh, gosh.
I'll just read this out to you. It is actually very funny. We've actually performed it at Highbury. Sutton Arts are doing it. 4 out-of-condition, middle-aged businessmen sent off on a team-building exercise succeed in becoming the first people ever to get shipwrecked on an island in the Lake District. Bound in by fog, menaced by wildlife, and without a mobile signal, this perfunctory middle-class exercise quickly descends into a carnival of recrimination, French cricket and sausages. What should have been a bonding process for Gordon, Angus, Roy and Neville turns into a muddy, bloody fight for survival. Because when night settles in, strange things happen out in the wild. When you've no mobile signal, no one can hear you scream.
Oh.
Okay, so that's Neville's Island with Sutton Arts Theatre, and that's from the 30th of April. Again, by all means, go onto the web and Google it, and you'll find all the information. Grange Players, which in fact are situated literally down the road from where we're speaking, in Walsall, on the Broadway, are putting on an Agatha Christie murder mystery called And Then There Were None, about a group of people with dodgy pasts stranded in an island hotel. But one of them is a bit more dodgy than the rest. Who is it and who will survive? So it's an Agatha Christie murder, so you sort of expect that sort of style of stuff. But it's also very funny. So that's the Grange, and that's on between May the 13th to the 23rd.
We've only got time for a few more, so we can just quickly pick out...
I'll very quickly mention. Crescent in Birmingham. They're putting on a couple of productions, both in their studio and in the main house. The Long Road is one, Parade is another, and again, worth going onto the net and just Googling Crescent and you'll see all the information.
That's quite accessible as well, which is pretty good.
Very much so, and of course it's a big theatre, the Crescent.
Yeah, it
over
is.
300-seat auditorium, and they put on some goods, and they hire out to others. Albury Rep, which I think you know.
Yeah, I've been there myself.
Yeah. They're putting on a very famous play called A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, which runs from the 9th to the 16th of May, so that's an old classic. And then finally, a couple of other things. There's new groups emerging all the time, and one is a group called Smart Arts. Be careful what I'm saying. Smart Arts, and it's a Sheila Stevenson's award-winning gritty drama they're putting on called 5 Kinds of Silence, and it's on at the old Joint Stock Theatre in Birmingham.
That's a really nice theatre, that is.
Have you been there?
Yeah, it's quite intimate as well.
It
I've
is.
performed there, and it is.
It is, and of course they
really
attract
nice.
diners and drinkers from downstairs to go upstairs to the theatre area, because it's above the pub, really, basically.
Yeah, it is.
Which, of course, is what happens in London a lot, on pub theatres and so on. But it's an excellent venue, and they're putting on 3 Kinds of Silence, May the 1st and 2nd, basically. And they're going on to the Blockfish Library Theatre on May the 16th. And that is basically it, I think.
There's quite a lot happening in the region, which I think is really nice, and you don't have to go to like London or like the bigger cities to actually see really good theatre.
I think you're right, Chanel. And one thing that was mentioned relating particularly to, we've done a few pantomimes at Highbury. Sutton Arts Theatre, pantomime, right? You can go to a pantomime at that theatre for £10.
That's really good. So obviously it's at low price, and obviously the talent is really good. So I just say thank you so much for joining me and letting me know the information.
Thanks very much, Chanel. Thank you.
As I just said, there's great shows happening over the next month, and we'll see you again in May.
Thank you.
Don't forget, if you have an event that you want us to advertise, then we'd like to hear from you. And our contact details can be seen on the bottom of the screen. And to play us out, here is the video from Johnny Robinson's Eaten Alive.
I don't ever wanna be finishes. Ecstasy and what you find in the modern world. One flick of my tongue changes the meaning of the word. And you say, that's impossible. That's not impossible to do. Oh, you know just what I can see. The taste of you can be. I don't wanna get eaten alive, 'cause you're so dangerous. No heart's so controllerless. I don't wanna get eaten alive, to be eaten alive, eaten alive. I don't ever wanna be eaten Now I've got you on the run, and the quicker my senses and the chances, I'm the faster one. I know the universal law. Primeval times for a little stimulation. It'll come when smart and you say, that's impossible. That's not impossible to do. Oh, you know just what I can see. The taste of you can be. I don't wanna get eaten alive, 'cause you're so dangerous. No heart's out of control.